Dr. Michael Hertzberg, report to surgery. Dr. Michael Hertzberg, please report to surgery. Who put that in the film, Michael Hertzberg?
I had to fulfill my mother. All those years of wanting to be a doctor, she's finally going to get it. She's going to see it in the film.
Has she seen it yet?
No, she's in Florida.
The movie is Johnny Dangerously, and this is the guy who is the producer. Now, did you see Blazing Saddles? Did you see Silent Movie? This guy did that. Now, the curious thing about this new movie he's done, called Johnny Dangerously, is it's directed by a young woman who probably hasn't had all that kind of experience, like the kind of experience you have had with the people that you have worked with. Did that cause any problems or any interesting things that developed along the way, Michael?
No, not really. I mean, Amy is a very talented gal and a big fan of the gangster movies. Really knew them very well from growing up on television with them. And bringing her energy and her youth into this project, I thought was a very desirable thing. I convinced the studio, I mean, Amy was really very new. She only had done one picture. I convinced the studio, you know, with my experience, that she'd be the right one to use, and they went with her.
Well, would she come to you then and say, hey, what do you think about this?
Well, I don't think there was any specific who came to who, just in the collaboration. I mean, you can't go back and say how that came about, but we really did work together very, very well, and the whole film was done that way.
Tell us, Michael, and for our viewers in the audience who don't really know what a producer does, what is your job? What do you have to do to pull all the pieces together to make it work?
You have to have a lot of stick-to-itiveness. You really must be able to fly in the face of a billion no's. I mean, our business is filled with people saying no to you. A producer has to really start projects. He's the innovator. And he either finds the idea...
Where do you get the script to start with?
Well, that's where you either come up with the original ideas yourself and develop the screenplays like this one was, or you buy scripts that are for sale, you know, by different agents and writers, or you buy a book and adapt it. But once your producer has that, he then has to convince others to make this movie. Now, that's the money part of it. You either go to a studio or to private financiers and convince them this is a movie to make. Then you have to people it. You have to find the right person to direct it, the right people to act in it, and you supervise the entire making of the picture, right through editing and right through selling.
And all those people have to be available at the time when you're going to start shooting?
Sure, of course. When you hire people, it's always based on availability.
What kind of money are we talking about for a movie like Johnny Dangerously?
Johnny Dangerously cost $10 million to make.
And what do you have? What kind of return do you have to get on that to really make a profit?
Me or
well,
the studio?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody who's involved.
The picture probably has to do about $40 to $50 million
Really?
at the box office. At the box office for us to start seeing some profits.
Yeah. And how do you distribute a film?
Well, in this case, and as was with the other pictures, it was all done through a major film distributor. So 20th Century Fox is the distributor of the picture and the financier. This picture will be shown in 1,000 to 1,200 theaters starting December the 21st. And they hope to, in a 3 or 4 week period of time, the youngsters are home from school to really get a leg up on that number.
So the Christmas period is a very important time to release a film.
Right.
Also to make it available for the Academy Awards coming up down the road.
That's true, but Christmas and summertime are the peak periods that the studios feel.
Yeah.
They have to jam all their films into. I don't happen to agree with that. I think that there's 12 months, and this spring was a wonderful season for successful movies, and they're going to find out also that there's a fall. Sooner or later, you can release pictures at Thanksgiving or October and spread it out a little bit so there aren't 10 pictures vying for attention.
Now, the curious thing about this film is it's set in the 1930s. What kind of problems did that create for you to get those wonderful old cars and all of the clothing and everything that's necessary to give that look and make it authentic?
Well, we hired really, really wonderful people. I think we had one of the finest costume designers in the business, Patty Norris, and we had a gentleman named Joe Jennings who did some of those KGIN movies, work as the art director. And he wouldn't let us go near anything that smacked of being false of the period, because the movie really is also about those movies. We really wanted to make it as authentic as we could. And we shot it all on back lots like they did, and on sets, and even our chases are real screen projection the way they used to do in those old movies.
How much did it cost when you were a child to see a movie?
Oh, 25 cents.
Oh, you're that young.
That young.
That young, 25 cents.
25 cents. We used to see 10 pictures on a Saturday at a theater with
For 25 cents?
For 25 cents, and only the matron would throw you out when it got dark. They used to have a multiple.
Your mother let you go for that long?
Yes. In New York, Your mother never knew where you were.
Oh, okay, well, now when his mama gets to watch this film, there'll be little tiny shticks that appear, and are you going to tell her to look for it, or are you just going to see if she catches it? When they say, there's just a line that says, Dr. Michael Hertzberg to surgery, please.
We'll see if she catches it, and if not, I'll send her back. We even collect money from our mothers.
What was the most difficult thing for you to do in the film, Michael?
Well, actually to get it on was the most difficult thing. It took so long. Once we got the go for the picture, it really seemed to belong there. Casting it the way we did, just seemed to be right. And the making of it was no real problem. So the difficulty...
You make it sound so easy.
Well, if you can hang in there for 9 years, it becomes easy.
When people tell you no, how do you not take that personally?
Well, throw them off a roof. No. I don't think you can. I think maybe 8 in a row you start feeling a little something, but you can't and be successful in this business. Because in the end you really have to have confidence in yourself. And so far I've done pretty well with film.
Well, I would think so. Blazing Saddles and a silent movie. Those are classics.
Yeah, I hope so.
Are you working on another project now?
I have 2 films that I'm in development on, both of which I'm going to produce and direct. I'm going to step up into directing, which in truth I came from in the first place. In the commercial world in New York. I used to direct commercials long before I got into producing a feature film.
Can you tell us what they're going to be at
Well,
this point?
I don't know which one is going to go first. I'll give you both titles. One is called The Princess of Perrault, and the other one is called In the Process. It's about college law students who have to work their way through law school as process servers. It's a lot of energy and a lot of potential looks at the law from both sides, theory and practice.
Well, good luck to you on those little projects.
Thank you very much.
What he has just currently finished, put to bed, as they call it, is Johnny Dangerously. Stars Michael Keaton and Joe Piscopo and Danny DeVito and Maureen Stapleton and Mary Lou. And it's sprinkled with little cameo performances by a lot of outstanding stars. Thank you very much,
Thank
Michael.
you and Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you. Same to you. And Happy Hanukkah and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And Happy Easter, just in case.
Okay. Covered. We're covered.
We got them all. Please stay tuned. There's a lot more to come as 10/11 Morning continues.